Good morning and welcome along. Today we're going to be talking about foundational backlinks, what they are and why they matter. Everyone in SEO talks about backlinks, and effectively what a backlink is a vote for your website. And if that's contextual, so the content that is contained around the backlink is relevant to your business, then Google can potentially consider that somebody else is basically voting for you and giving you some of their authority. So before we start chasing those large, juicy, hard to get backlinks from Forbes or The Guardian, there's something way more basic that you need first, and this is foundational backlinks. And this is particularly relevant for local businesses. So the way that the Google search algorithm works is that they look at what backlinks your competitors have and which of those are relevant. So for example, in a location such as where I live in Hertfordshire in the UK, having a St Albans Chamber of Commerce backlink to your website is a really high indication of a real company, real inverted commas. So without these foundational links that some of your competitors may have, and not all of them will have all of these links, the whole thing can become a bit shaky. And if you start piling on really high authority links into a website without the foundational elements, then this can potentially cause you problems. So in this video, we're going to break down what foundational backlinks are, why they're the first step to ranking in Google, and exactly where you can go today to building them. Stick around because I'll share some overlooked backlink sources that 99% of SEOs miss. So let's start with the basics. A backlink is simply a link from one website to another. Google has used backlinks as a ranking signal since day one because links are basically votes of confidence. But here's the catch. Not all backlinks are equal. A link from BBC News is a lot more powerful than a link from your neighbour's cat blog. So where do foundational backlinks fit in? Foundational backlinks are the low-hanging fruit. They're links that establish your business as a real business, and it gives Google the trust signals it's looking for. So you can create a natural profile before you start chasing high authority competitive links. Think of them as broken down into the following categories: citations, directory links, social profiles, and brand mentions. None of these are individually really powerful, but collectively these build the base layer of your site's backlink profile. And what's more important, if you don't have them or your competitors don't have them, then they're going to view you more authoritatively than, or less authoritatively, depending on which way round it is, than your competitor. So why should you care about this? Imagine two businesses. Business A, they've gone straight for outreach, landing guest posts and Harrow links, but they've got 0 citations, no social profiles, and no listings on business directories. And business B, they've built their foundational backlinks first. They're listed on Yale, Yale.com, Crunchbase, Bing Places, Facebook, LinkedIn, Apple Maps, and 20 niche directories. Which one is going to look more like a real business to Google? It's going to be business B every single time. Google is smart enough to spot when a site doesn't have those signals. And guess what? They hold you back from ranking, even if you have a few high authority links. It's like trying to build a mansion without pouring the concrete foundation. You can decorate the roof tiles all you want, but the house is going to fall down. So examples of foundational backlinks. Let's get practical. So what actually counts as a foundational backlink? And here's a list that you can actually action today. So first, That's not working. Bear with me. So first up, we've got Facebook. So this is an example of a Facebook page that I built for one of my painting and decorating businesses that we set up in around 2020. So this is, what we're doing here is creating content for websites. Now, as you can see, I haven't touched this for years. I think we did a couple of posts over the years, but originally we were doing things like this, and this, the intention of this is it shows Google and the other search engines that you're actively producing content. And what you can actually do with these now, these can become a source of parasite. So we can basically produce content from these and then link those through to other parasite types of websites. So yeah, we've got 37 followers. It's got an about us. And this reinforces the information that we're telling Google. So we make sure that this address links up, we give it service areas, we give it a telephone number, the email address, and most importantly, our website. So this links through to the website for this domain, or it should link through. Let's make sure it works, right? It's not working. So things like this, it should work. I know, it just took a little while, right? So that is working. So it's all of these kind of signals which are really important to show to Google that you're a real business and you've got all of these things active. So what we can then do is obviously create more content on these pages, and these are the activities that a real business does. So we'll shut this one down. Next, LinkedIn. So if we go to view it as a member, so one person that I know follows this page. So Hearts Decorators provide high quality painting and decorating services to both our clients. That doesn't make any sense. Anyway, you get the vibe, right? So what we have is again an overview, and in our about section there should be a link to our website, and there is, and there's the telephone number. It tells us where we're headquartered. It puts all of our keywords. It gives us the context that we're trying to build. And then obviously what we can then do is create content on this platform again. And clearly with this, in this instance, we haven't been doing that. But what we can potentially do is create a backlink to our parasites that we've been building. So we could create an article that says Hearts Decorators are now on Claude. We're now on Perplexity. We're now in all of these different places, and create very short articles that puts information in front of people. Next, YouTube. So creating YouTube, as you can see, you won't be able to hear the audio on these, but we've got some quite interesting content that we've been creating. This is very old. This was 3 years ago we created this. It's not very good, but it's better than doing nothing, because what we can potentially do, if we look at painters and decorators in St Albans, so we were doing a similar type of thing. So what we can do is include a link to our Google site. Now, I think these are depreciated, so this link probably won't work. So what we might want to do is actually change that link. Is it going to work? I think sites.google doesn't work. Oh no, it does work. Right, so we've still got the sites.google, but we lost the Google business sites. That's right. So this is another parasite that's an important place that tells Google, we can reiterate all of this information again, we can have Twitter events, and these are ways of basically building up that kind of backlinking profile that reiterates that we are a legitimate business. And what we would probably do now is log in and actually incorporate a link to our website as well, because that'd be the natural thing to do. Google sites, another thing that most people don't use. These are really easy to create. You just log into your Google profile, but then you get the ability to create really contextual information about your business. You can link to loads of properties from them, and then you can point links to these sites as well. And by itself, it probably has very little SEO value. Let's have a look. So domain authority checker, page authority checker. By itself, it's not going to carry much domain weight or domain authority. But you put all of these things together. Most people aren't doing it, right? That's the bottom line. That doesn't seem to be working. Okay, it's thrown up. Let's try again. The page authority checker. Not working. Let's try this one. So individually, as I was saying, that doesn't work either, right? I mean, this is the problem with this type of free software, is often they're just spammy. But the point about this is individually, this isn't going to be that powerful. But obviously what we can create is a really, really long form section of this website that gives us factory and warehouse painting in St Albans. Okay, so for example, and then this is its own heading link, right? And ultimately what we're trying to do is get painters and decorators in St Albans as our primary backlink. So we're building really contextual links as part of this process. So once you've built your social profiles, and they've been all built out, so you would build Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, X, TikTok, YouTube channel, the list goes on, and there's lots more of these, particularly kind of micro sites. So you could potentially build a little Wix site, you can build a MailChimp site. There's hundreds of these sites where you can get a little bit of context. And these then provide that little bit of link value that tells Google that you're legit and you're doing things properly. Now you couple that with business directories. So Yelp, Yale.com, Yellow Pages, Bing Places, Apple Maps, Google Business Profile. And there's hundreds of business directories. And a key part of the business directory game is identifying the business directories. So what we call these is citations that your competitors have. And if they've all got a particular one, some of those might be paid, but it's important to replicate the profile of your competition. And then what we're going to try and do is obviously build better quality SEO on page with higher value domain authority and backlinks coming in so that we can overtake them. What you'll also find is that there's industry specific and niche directories. So with the painting and decorating company, there's construction directories, there's bark.com, there's all of these checker trade, there's all these kind of different unique business-based directories, and it's important to have exposure. So we can have rated people, house.com, etc., etc. Then on top of that, we will try and find local citations. So this is anywhere your name, address and phone number appear consistently. Local Chamber of Commerce websites, local business associations, networking groups. That then gives you a core foundation of your local business backlink profile. Then on top of this, what we're then going to do is build press releases and brand mentions. So we're not trying to do mass PR blasts, but potentially legit local news, local blogs or industry news sites. For example, local newspaper coverage of a charity event your business hosted, a profile of your town's online directory. Then finally, we're going to go into profile links. So things like Crunchbase, about.me, Product Hunt, GitHub. Each one of these is not going to make that much difference individually, but you compound all of these together and you've got a couple of hundred links pointing to a domain, and it becomes difficult for your competition to compete with you, particularly if the quality of your content is good and you're building things in a long-term and sustainable way. Okay, so you're probably wondering, how do I actually build these? So first, you claim your profile. Start with the big socials. Even if you don't post, just secure the username and your website link. Getting that link back, filling in the about us, filling in the hours of operation. This just reiterates the information that you're going to give if you can secure a Google business profile, which leads us on to setting up your Google business profile. Fill this out completely. Photos, services, hours of operations. This is a foundational backlink and it's one of the strongest local ranking signals, and it's really important to get this bit right. Once you've done this, you submit your business to key directories. So use tools like Bright Local, Whitespark, or even Fiverr Gigs to get listed across dozens of general and niche directories. Make sure that you've got consistency across all of these. So they're written in the same structure with the same format. So the word street needs to be the same, not ST as an abbreviation. Then you add secondary profiles, Crunchbase, Product Hunt, industry specific ones. And then finally create a Medium article, a SlideShare presentation, even a Quora answer or a Reddit, all linking back to your site naturally. These are the behaviors that a business person will typically be doing. They'll be promoting their business in lots of different places. So common mistakes with foundational backlinks are skipping them completely. They go straight for guest posts and wonder why they don't rank. Using faking info. Inconsistent NAP data will actually hurt you. So you need to make sure it's consistent. Buying spammy directory packages. If it looks like a link farm, Google knows it's a link farm. Stick to genuine platforms. So here's the takeaway. Foundational backlinks are not sexy. It's going to take you ages to build them, and you're not going to be able to brag about how much business that you get on the back of them. But what they do, as the name suggests, is create that foundation to project your business onto the future highs that you're going to be pushing for. They tell Google, hey, we're a real business. People can find us. We exist. We're consistent. Think of them as your digital business license. Once you've built this foundation, then you can start chasing high authority backlinks, guest posts, link insertions, digital PR, and all the exciting stuff. Without them, you're building on sand. So if you haven't built your foundational backlinks yet, start today. Knock out the easy wins, create that strong foundation, and set up your site for long-term SEO success. If you found this useful, hit like, drop a comment with your favourite backlink source, and subscribe for more deep dive SEO content. And remember, our school community is going to be going into the details of how we can do this and leverage up and achieve continued and consistent SEO success using some of these strategies that we're talking about in this channel. I hope you enjoyed this video, slightly different from the other days, but this is the process that we're going to be going through and building a great big list of these for our local sites, of which we've got quite a few. So what we need to work out is a way of doing this on a cost-effective basis. Anyway, that's Foundational Backlinks. Matt Lindsay, have a great day, and I look forward to seeing you soon.